Hey everybody, it's Professor Parrish, and I hope you all have had a great week. I just wanted to give you all an update for week 15 going into English 109. So at this point, I have graded several of your narrative papers. Some of you may have gotten feedback for paper 3 from me already. If you have not gotten feedback, I will be getting to your papers this week. So you should be hearing some feedback for your third paper this week from me, and I'll be getting the grades caught up from week 14. As far as week 15 goes, we are going to officially start our argument paper. Looking at our schedule for what's happening in the next couple of weeks, I am moving the discussion about citations and MLA to week 16 because we have less assignments that week, so that will give me more time in this video to process those sources and talk about them. So just gear up for that. If you have questions about citation or MLA between now and week 16, though, please feel free to let me know because I'll be happy to help you go over what I'm expecting for this paper beforehand if you don't want to wait. But there are 3 assignments due for week 15, and I want to go over what they are with you in this video. So I'm not going to make it too long. I'm just going to review those for you and then let you guys get started. But I just wanted to preface with that I've gotten your assignments for week 14. If you've not submitted week 14's assignments, please do so. But I have gone through several of your narrative drafts. They've been great so far, and I'm going to finish up tonight and tomorrow with the rest of those narratives. So if you've not gotten feedback, you should soon. But let me minimize myself right over here, and I'm going to go to assignments, and we'll talk about week 15. Get that box out of the way. All right, so week 15 runs from April 20th to April 26th. There are 3 assignments due. There is a third reading response, the writing prep for your argument paper, which we'll talk about here in a moment, and the discussion forum for week 15. So I'm going to start with the reading response number 3. We don't have textbook assignments anymore, so this is, like I said, taking the place of that. The reading response for this week. There is a short video. It's about 10 minutes long. It's another Lindsay Ellis video. I really like using her for this class because she does a lot of literature-centric video essays, which I think are really helpful for English 109 and 122. This one is a sort of an argumentative video, but I really like it because it's talking about changing your mind about something. So the video concerns Stephanie Meyer. If you don't know who Stephanie Meyer is, you will know within the first 30 seconds of this video, but she's an author who had a lot of backlash several years ago and has since been moving forward with that backlash and doing different things to kind of combat that. And Lindsay in the video talks about how she had a very strong position with this author years ago, and over time that position has changed. And so she's arguing in this video that people can change their mind and that it may not be a bad thing, as she argues the pros and cons of it. So I think it's a nice fit for our discussion of argumentation, and so I want you to watch this video, and then below here you can see that in your reading response I would like for you to answer these 3 questions. Now, your entire reading response should be, as it states here, about 1 page double-spaced, which really isn't that long, considering that once you answer all 3 questions and it's double-spaced, I think that you'll easily be able to reach that page length. But I want you to be detailed in your answers, use examples from the video that Lindsay says specifically, and just adhere to proper grammar and spelling, and you should get a 20 out of 20 on this assignment. I do really like this discussion because I think that in argument oftentimes it's assumed that we are considered weak if we change our opinion about something, and that's not necessarily the case. Changing your mind can be a sign of growth. And so she kind of talks about, what does it mean that I've changed my opinion? What does that mean about myself and about my views? And so I think it's a very interesting argument, and I'm excited to hear your response to whether or not you agree with her or whether or not you had similar or different issues and opinions to this author as she did. I'm just curious. Maybe you don't even know who Stephanie Meyer is and you don't know the book series she's created. Regardless, I am excited to see your answers to this reading response. Over the past few years, I've used this reading response example, and I've seemed to get some really good responses from students for it. So that's the reading response number 3, and it's due Sunday, April 26th. We have our writing prep for our argument paper, and I'm going to save that for last. And in the meantime, go back and do the discussion forum for week 15. The week 15 discussion forum, this discussion forum is fairly easy this week. It's just asking, kind of like it's one of our last discussion forums, giving opinions about what we're doing in this class before we move forward into the final home stretch of writing our last paper. So I want to know, out of all the papers we've constructed so far, which has been the quote-unquote easiest for you to write and which has been the hardest, and why. So it's building off a discussion we had a few weeks ago. What do you think is the most important part of an argument paper, and why? I'm very curious as to why. And then what questions do you have going into the peer review? And I'm going to change this actually right now, because our peer review is not next week, it's the week after next. So I'm going to go here to week 15 and change this so you all can see. Okay. So my last question is going into the peer review, which is going to be in week 17, and we'll talk about it next week and during week 17. Do you have questions? Do you have questions about finals week? And I think definitely considering everything that's going on right now, I do want to know if you have questions about the class, things like that. So consider it an open forum to ask questions, and I will be happy to answer them. But that's a discussion forum. It will be due, post due Friday, responses due by Sunday. And then the last thing is the writing prep for argument. And it is exactly the same as it has been for our other assignments that have been writing prep. I just want to know, what is your argument topic? And I want an outline of your points that you plan to address. So the thing with argumentation, and your chapter in our textbook talks about this, is that I don't want necessarily a rant in this paper. I don't want you to sit there and rant. It's not like a Facebook post or social media. Whatever your opinion on the topic is, I definitely want you to be able to express that, but I also want you to be able to back up your opinions with facts, with research. I think that it's really important that whatever you decide to do, my dog's barking here, whatever you decide to write about, you need to be able to address both sides of the issue, even if you only support one. So a common topic that used to be was legalizing marijuana, which I don't think you should do that topic now, because lo and behold, it's legal in Illinois. So why are you arguing about it? At this point, it's kind of a moot point. But years ago, before it was legal, I had a lot of students wanting to write about it. And so my thing was, okay, you can tell me you're for or against it. Yes. But I want to also hear the other side of the issue. Why do people disagree with you? And I want you to address that. And you don't have to agree with them. You can say, well, I don't support marijuana, or I do. But you also have to address the other side of the issue. And that's the big thing about this last paper. It needs to be researched, have factual information, and it needs to address both sides. You don't have to agree with both sides, and you can have a strong opinion one way or the other. But if you don't include that other side, then you're sort of manipulating your audience, because if you don't talk about the other side of the story, your audience doesn't know it exists. So it's pretty crucial that no matter what topic you pick, you at least spend a paragraph, at least, in your paper talking about that other side and why people believe that it's good. And then you can use the rest of your paper to kind of refute that and say, well, people believe this, but let me tell you why I'm right. And then you can use your facts and research to support your opinions. So that is pretty much the argument paper. I'm excited to see your topics. This is usually the one paper where if there's going to be a problem with topics, it's going to be with this paper. 90% of the time, everything's great. I will give you some examples of topics that I think have been overdone. So I would encourage you to choose something different. The most common one is abortion. I can't tell you how many papers I've read on that topic. It's been a lot. There's been some very strong opinions either way on the issue. I encourage you to write about what you're passionate for. So if you are extremely passionate about that topic, it can be hard to talk about both sides of that topic. That's the catch, because sometimes we get so emotional about our opinions with topics like that, that it can be hard to discuss the other side. So I don't want to dissuade you from picking a topic you're going to like, but also if you pick a very overdone topic, you can't do legalizing marijuana anymore. Legalizing marijuana, that topic's out because it's legal in Illinois. I don't want to read a paper about it. It's a moot point. That topic's out. But if you are going to write about abortion, capital punishment, I had a lot of people for a while were talking about like raising or lowering the drinking or smoking age. If you're going to pick a topic that's really kind of cliche and very overdone, then I want you to bring something new to the table. I want you to bring an idea that's new to the argument that maybe we hadn't thought about before. And keep in mind, this last paper you are going to be presenting to your peers. So your peers are going to be proofreading and peer reviewing your last paper. So choose a topic that you think will resonate well, that you are passionate about, and that you think you can find research for and create a strong argument. So I won't dissuade anybody from any topic except legalizing marijuana. We're going to throw that out. But if you are going to choose a topic that's rather cliche or overly popular, then just be sure that you add something to the table. But I encourage you, be creative. You all have so many different strengths and passions and inspirations that I want you to pick a topic that, even if it's something I have no clue about, pick something that you're passionate about, that you want to argue. So, and we'll talk more about the citations in week 16. So that's this week's video. I hope you all are staying safe. I hope you all are doing well. As always, if you have any questions about the materials, about the assignments, please don't hesitate to let me know. I am working remotely from home, so I am usually on my computer from 8 to 4:30, Monday through Friday, to answer questions. So I hope you all have a great week. I look forward to reading the rest of your narratives, and I look extremely forward to reading both your reading responses and seeing your topics for our final paper of the class. Have a great day, guys, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.